welcome after the break, and let's quickly have a look at question 3.5. Now it's extract regarding mining. Now if you look at mining, it's a primary activity taking place. It's extracting raw material, non-renewable resources from the surface of the earth, and in the past it helped South Africa massively economically, so it's a very valuable asset. But let's quickly look at this case study, and what do they say in this case study? Renewal of the SA mining industry. Okay, if you can read over here, the South African mining and mineral industry has been the basis of South African economy. Now, as you can mention over there, that's where we made most of our money, especially we build up a GDP and a GNP. Keep in mind, we are selling gold to other countries, so it's an income that we make from other countries. We're making a foreign income, but most importantly, we provide people with jobs. Okay, as you can see, mining contributes roughly 17% of the GDP, both directly and indirectly. But unfortunately, over the years, if you just think about it, what comes up, Marikana and platinum mines, there's a lot of unrest, especially labor unrest. There's many challenges that they face. For instance, if you look at their commodity prices, for instance, platinum, coal, steel, and the gold are affected. So that's the price that they are willing to pay. It fluctuates. Sometimes it's worth a lot, sometimes it's not that much worth. And obviously, but it does have a direct impact on the productivity. Okay, if we don't get paid a lot of money for the product, there's no point mining it in excess. Okay, while there's been many improvements in mining along the way, it's still relying on very traditional methods of extraction, and it's labor intensive. So it didn't go the same way like farming did, where we can mechanize the farms. Instead of using machines to do the job in new technology, we still need the physical labor to do the jobs, and it costs a hell of a lot of money. Okay, so it's very much labor intensive, and unfortunately, I mean, you're going down a shaft several kilometers, it's extremely dangerous, and there's safety and health regulations involved. Now let's just quickly go and look at the question. Give 2 reasons in the extract for the decrease in the contribution of mining to the GDP. And we looked at it is the low productivity levels, and the commodity prices. And another reason what you could have mentioned, okay, the cost of labor. Unfortunately, that's the only way to do it, and that's the reason why it's so bloody expensive. State one physical factor that could endanger a miner's life below the surface. So there's so many. Gas, for instance, rock falls. Okay, unfortunately, the high temperatures. Sinkholes. Earth tremors. And fires. Okay, so there's quite a few. So I hope that you can see it's quite a dangerous job to do. And there's a lot of safety issues that we need to work around. Discuss 2 possible reasons for the increasing input cost of labors. Now, why does it cost more every single time? Now, we looked what happened at Marikana. Why did Marikana happen? Because there was wage disputes. And what's a wage dispute? They wanted more money. They want an increase in wages. And which is fair, they wanted danger pay. So they want danger payments because they know it's a very dangerous job they are performing. And because of higher HIV prevalence results, it cost the mines money. Unfortunately, many of the workers do get infected by HIV because they are not family orientated. They usually work far from their family, and because they're working in unhealthy conditions, it costs, because so many pass away or experience illness because of HIV, it costs. That's the reason it's so expensive, because they are not that productive. And lastly, lawsuits that follow that put an end to productivity and class actions. For instance, your trade unions. So that puts on hold to productivity to the mining sector. Now, question 3.5.4. Write a paragraph of approximately 8 lines and discuss the direct and indirect contribution of mining to the GDP of South Africa. Now, first of all, let's quickly go and look at the direct contribution. Please note, I'm going to do it in bullet form, but you need to write it in paragraph form. Okay, now because it pays tax, so it contributes to the GDP. Okay, very importantly, and it provides employment. And once again, because it's a registered company, these employees also pay tax, and that also adds to the GDP. And very importantly, we earn foreign capital. Okay, if you look at indirect, and I'm going to give you an example over here. Think of Rustenburg. When platinum was discovered, what happened? People moved to Rustenburg. Now, all of a sudden, there was a need for more doctors. So indirectly, that doctors found themselves employment because more people has moved to Rustenburg. Another example is a car garage. Toyota decided, listen, there's a great influx of people moving to Rustenburg, and the companies might need more buckies, and they need more vehicles. So Toyota opened a branch over there. Now, same with the windscreen companies, let's say Glasfit. All of a sudden, listen, there's more cars in Rustenburg, so let's open a Glasfit branch over there. And that's how you influence, because of the mining industry, indirectly, it influenced other companies around it to make money as well. But let's quickly look at a couple examples of indirect. Okay, development of other industries. For instance, providing machinery for the mines. I'm not going to go in detail with that, but other industries has developed because of the mining industry in South Africa. Now, Transnet, for instance, it's an infrastructure. For instance, Transnet and transport networks has improved. Have improved because the products needs to be sent off to be processed. Okay, another reason that we can mentions the ports, the harbors generates income. Okay, because most of these raw materials are being shipped off to China, to different countries, because they don't have so many raw materials like South Africa do. So the ports For instance, Durban, it generates income, it generates employment opportunity. Okay, and definitely it increases skill development. Now, many countries can rely on, because the mine rely on unskilled labor, but many jobs are technical and you need qualified people to work with it, so it increases skill development all over the board. And first of all, it can also boost tourism. Okay, and that answers that question over there. If you look at question 3.6, now we're talking about informal trading over here. Earlier we spoke about an informal settlement. Informal trading is we don't pay tax. Now as you can see, there's a beautiful example of a hawker sitting over there selling whatever, loose cigarettes or fresh produce. She's not paying any tax, or she doesn't add to the GDP of South Africa with her business. Now let's just quickly have a look at the first question. Why did the Metro Rail security guards burn down the hawker's stall? Now that was in the case study. Obviously because it's illegal. And it might be because it's a hazard for the people getting off the trains. If you look at question 3.6.2, give a reason why the Khayelitsha railway station is ideally located for the informal trading. It's because there's passengers using the trains, and on the end of the day, they are the consumers. But unfortunately, with this informal trading, there's many problems that pops up. For instance, in your next question, why does Metro Rail view informal trading as an additional financial burden? Now, first of all, because there's a lot of litter involved. Okay, and you need security because a lot of times illegal activities are taking place where informal trading takes place. So security is needed. And lastly, it's not clean, it's not organized, so it can be a health risk. Okay, unfortunately this is all we have time for during this lesson, but stay tuned for the next lesson. I hope you enjoy the lesson and see you next time around. Thanks.